So those don't know me, I'm Chris. I'm a low-code developer. Basically, that means when you hit the limits of Webflow or whatever platform you're using, give me a call, and I make it work. So my day usually starts with a bunch of emails or messages that start with, I tried to make it with ChatGPT, and it doesn't work. But yeah, and then through that, partnering with designers and agencies, a request I kept getting over and over and over again was, can you build me Google Maps? Real estate developers, directories, people that wanted integrated on their site, but they didn't want it to look like Google Maps. So I built PIC Maps. And yes, PIC Maps is a dynamic, interactive, no-code map tool using Webflow CMS. And basically what that means is, again, dynamic, works with the CMS. So you set it up, you give it to your client, and they can run with it. Anytime they update something, it's reflected on the map. And it's all built with attributes. So if anyone's used Finsweet Attributes, works exactly the same. I've tried to make it as close to their system as possible, just so it feels super familiar. And it also integrates with Finsweet Attributes. So all of the filtering and the pagination, CMS load, all that kind of jazz, just works out of the box, and it's reflected on the map. And yeah, being interactive, again, built with the filters and pagination, and then it has an action system built into it, which means that you can, again, with attributes, set when the user hovers over an item, do this thing with the marker. When a user hovers over the marker, do a thing with the item, and vice versa. So this is sort of the demo I have running at the moment, and basically based off of Airbnb. So you have up in the top corner your little filters that are built with Finsweet. So this is sort of the thing you might see on a property developer's website. And you have your list over on the side. And then all of this is auto-generated from that list and a couple of attributes. So this one in particular, when you hover over a marker item, which are all generated from CMS data, then marker expands a little bit, and the listing pops up. So you can sort of like move around, have a play around with it. And then as you filter things, it's reflected on the map, and probably easier to show you. So this is the demo. And then as you hover over things, they pop up, and this is all generated from the CMS. Right. And then all of this is the end just built with Finsweet. And these are all just categories that are assigned in the CMS. So again, anything you do with Finsweet, you can do with this. Reset it. And this was the first one I ever built. So this is Housing Budapest. So this is a student housing association in Budapest. And this was when I first started doing sort of low-code development. There's a guy, a student, I think this was one of his first projects, and his client wanted him to have this. No idea how to make it. So I found him on the Webflow forums. Unfortunately, he didn't pay me. But I've got two projects here, Housing Budapest and Aria Peachtree, both of which didn't pay me. So this was back just before COVID, and this was during COVID, so I could have used the money. But the guy from Housing Budapest then went above and beyond on the Webflow forums, and most of my clients for the rest of the year came from him recommending me for maps. This guy, on the other hand, you're fucked. So this, he builds sites for luxury developments over in Georgia. So when a film crew comes over, they usually rent out a whole place. And then this guy makes lots of money and doesn't pay anyone. But so these two projects were the first two projects that I built maps for. And yeah, very different outcomes, lots of different learning from the two. But what I basically got out of this was didn't want to use Google Maps anymore because you couldn't make it not look like Google Maps. And every time I proposed that, client always turned around and said, especially this one, don't like that. Can we change it? I want it to look like something else. And then funny story, he didn't pay me, so I turned it off. And he then hired someone else to build it again instead of paying me. And then I contacted that guy and he didn't pay him either. No. But yeah, so we don't like this guy. But we like all of these guys. So these are all people that have used, so version 1 of Epic Maps has been out for about 2 years. One thing I always mention is I was there first. There's a couple of alternatives that have come out since, but I then kind of really hit my stride with the rest of my work, and income from this was here. Income from everything else was here. So kind of left it in the background and then kept getting surprised. I would get notifications on my phone of, yeah, someone else has just signed up. Someone else has bought a year's license. And big shout out to the French Association of Wild Plant Harvesting Professionals, who were my first paying customer. Hey. So we love them. But yeah, so it's been used around the world for a variety of different things. We've got townhouse developments over in New Zealand. We got therapists in Canada. The French Association of Wild Plant Harvesting Professionals in France. Financial institutions use it for locating ATMs and branches. And yeah, a variety of other things. But version 1 had a lot of limitations. Everything was hard-coded. Everything required, they very quickly found the limits, as you do with any no-code tool. So I spent a lot of my time building custom solutions for other people, and then getting $10 a month from the license. So yeah, Epic Maps. So that's why I've built version 2. And so Epic Maps is built on, again, if you've used Finsweet, this kind of looks familiar. So these are attributes that you add to your elements in Webflow. So you have elements, options, and actions. Elements are just labels. So you have your Epic Map element equals map. Epic Map element equals list. And then you customize those with options. So you set the style of the map, you set the color of the markers and things like that and how they behave. And then actions are, again, as mentioned earlier, where you hover over an item, something happens with the marker. And so yeah, built version 2, which very quietly rolled out earlier today. But what really I wanted to do with it was simplify it and expand it. And I am, so when it comes to do my low-code work, I'm very particular about them not having to ring me up afterwards. I want to do it once, I want to do it well, and turn it into a tool that they can use in the future. Version 1 of Epic Maps was not that, and people kept ringing me up, asking for things, and generally being disappointed. So I wanted to simplify the build and make it as open-ended as possible so that if anything happens to me or I go do something else, you can keep using it. It has all of the, so it's built on Mapbox, and all of the options that you can use with Mapbox, you can use as an attribute in the designer, and that correlates over. It is infinitely expandable. So at every stage of the options and actions, you can plug in your own functions. So if you want to have something, so I'm working on a demo at the moment where it's an external function when it goes to get the options for the map, and it detects whether the user's browser, what time it is, where they are in the world. So it will adjust the map to be at their location, or at least a general sort of country. I don't want to be too creepy. But a general country and what time of day it is. So you can set the map to nighttime, dusk, morning. So you can set up very customized experiences. And the same with the actions, where you can plug in your own functions. So again, working on another demo with Josh Fry at the moment and his Rive animations. And as they are programmatic, you can have it where you hover over an item or a marker, and it plays one of the Rive state animations. But yeah, so very developer friendly, so you can keep expanding it as you go, and it is platform agnostic. I know what you all want to hear. It works with Framer. And that is a good thing because it's built for Webflow, but it works in Framer without me having to do any extra work, so they get to pay for the development. So we like that one. But yes, so we have this demo over here. I just want to run through quickly how to set this up. So you can't really see on that, but this top script here is just the Finsweet list attributes. And then this one here is the PIC Maps script. So all you have to do is add those two. And then you go in, add an attribute. You can't really see there, but just epic map element equals map. Sorted. And then over here, you have your list, and I've already added again, a little bit hard to see, the Finsweet list element. So exactly where you add that, you just add epic map element list. And then you'll see, so at the moment, you just have this empty box. Once it publishes, really hope this works. Whoa. You have your map and all your markers. There you go. So in terms of the CMS itself, so this is running off of the properties demo, and the only thing that needs for it to work is either an address, and it will work out what the longitude and latitude coordinates are, which is what the map needs, or you can add, if you want to be really specific, you can add the longitude and latitude coordinates. So as long as you have an address, then it will work. And then down in here, just have it hidden away, but we have inside each collection item, you have your marker element and your pop-up element. So you can build these however you want within Webflow. Anything you do in Webflow, you can put into these markers and pop-ups. And all you then have to do is, same as we did before, just add epic map element equals marker. And epic map element equals pop-up. And then if I hide this again, and then publish it out, you'll see at the moment, so these are just the default markers and clicking on them, but there's no pop-up. So if you just have an address and your collection list, then you'll get all the items. And as long as it's as long as Finsweet is set up on the same list, then it will just work out of the box. And since that's now, so now we have all of the CMS data being pulled in on the individual markers with their items, with the pop-ups. And then one thing you'll notice here is that the fact it's popping up behind it, it's because I think I've added the marker pop-up element on the wrong level. But basically they have, you can just set that with z-index, and then one will appear on top of the, in the correct order. What was I going to do next? Oh yeah, so then you have your options. So as you'll see on the, when we load here, it's starting at longitude of 0 and 0. So it's starting in London and Greenwich. And then it has an auto-bounding feature. So whatever your markers are that you add onto it, it will automatically fit those within the map. But the map is loading at London and then moving to Portland, Oregon to make it all fit in. So you just jump back over to the map, and then you can add an option for Epic Map Ling for longitude. I had these written down somewhere, but you would put in the longitude and latitude coordinates for Portland, Oregon, and then it would load with those.
That's the starting point.
Yes. So you've got everything working straight off the bat, and then you add your options to customize it. You can add basically anything you can do with Mapbox, you can then do with attributes in Webflow. Then if you want to add, so here on the list item, any options or actions you add apply to all items and all markers. First version did not do that, and it took me ages. But if you want to add an action, epic map click equals go to. And then, so all the actions are pre-built using sort of Mapbox's out-of-the-box options. Woo. But it just means when you click on one, it doesn't work. Cool. What did I do wrong?
Epic map click.
On click. So that's just how it differentiates between it being an action and it being an option. So this time, zooms in, and then it will center whichever item you click on.
Nice.
And then, yeah, rolled out the new version this morning, and I'm basically going to spend the next couple of weeks just building out a massive library of these actions and writing all the documentation for it, which I actually had this all finished about a month ago, and it's been writing documentation and the website and all the things that I am not good at. But yeah. So the only other thing is, in terms of, so yeah, I've got a lovely website that took me far too long. Tells you everything you need to know about how to set it up. And then in regards to pricing, the client pays, you do not. So when you're ready to go live, you can use it for as long as you want. You have everything, there's no restrictions on the free version. You can set it up on a Webflow IO domain, get it working exactly how you want. And only when you want to go live, just ask either you or the client, and then you can add a domain, and then it just works. But yeah, I think I've rambled on long enough.
Thank you very much, Chris. Hey. Very good. Yeah, great to see it in action. Really smooth, and a step up from just your standard Google Map type integration. And I'm really keen to try it out. Before we take any questions, I've got a question about the pricing.
Yeah.
So that 100K, do you have a wholesale agreement with Mapbox, or do we have to get a Mapbox account as well as this?
Yes. So you get your own Mapbox account, and then that has its own. So this is in line with that. You get, I believe, 100,000 free page loads before you have to start paying. And then, yeah, this covers all of my AWS.
Sure. Okay. So if you went over 100,000, then you'd need the 45 a month.
Yep.
Plus Mapbox's fees.
Yes.
Yeah.
So far, the most anyone's done in a month was 6,000.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds pretty good. Yeah. Questions? One down the back. We got our Webflow in-house extraordinaire Anthony with a question. You might need to shout.
Yeah, hi. So yeah, just a quick one. Are you using Finsweet Attributes V1 or V2? And second question, do you plan on linking it to Google Maps, or are you just happy with how it is?
So the first question, it works with either V1 or V2 of Finsweet. This is using V2. But yeah, it's backwards compatible. So if you have V1 Finsweet on your site, it'll work exactly the same. Oh, and sorry, what was the second question?
Do you plan on getting it working with Google Maps, or are you just happy with how it is?
Not in the foreseeable future. What you can do with Mapbox is there's way too many limitations to be able to offer the same sort of product and the same offering. I know the other options, the other sort of Mapbox integrations do have Google Maps, but it generally means you then either have to split it into two or really limit the options across the board. And Mapbox seems to do everything.
So Mapbox good, Google Maps bad. Got it. Okay.
Just a super quick one, Chris. When you're testing it, can you test its functionality when you're in preview mode with custom code enabled, or do you have to publish to staging every time?
I haven't tried it. It should, because it's all just JS working on the front end, so it should work. Nope.
Interesting, because I noticed sometimes Finsweet doesn't work inside preview mode when you have custom code enabled. So
yeah. It's got security restrictions on the external scripts.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So no.
Cool, but that's a fairly new feature in Webflow, so maybe there'll be options added at some point. Yeah. We're coming up on time, but is there any last questions? No? Okay. Thank you very much, Chris. Really, really great.
London Webflow